Welcome back to the Unpacked and Empowered Finances podcast. This is Marianne, your host. If you're new to this channel, thank you so much for watching us today or listening. And if you're someone who's been listening, thank you so much. And again, I would like to encourage you to share this podcast to your friends, your network, and your families so that more people like you would be able to see what we share on this channel. And hopefully, it helps you as well. So, today we have a very special guest. Her name's Ajoke. She's the CEO, owner of ChopsHaven, just a newly opened restaurant here in St. John. And we're going to be discussing about herself, about her immigration journey and her business, and anything about what her thoughts are regarding finances that could probably help you as well. So, thank you, Ajoke, for letting me here in your restaurant. And we're going to eat after.
Thank you so much, Marianne, for having me. I am excited to be here. And I hope that I will be able to share something that would be helpful to every other immigrant here who finds themselves settling or hoping and planning to settle down here in Canada.
Perfect. I'm sure you would really add value to this podcast and to our listeners.
Fingers crossed.
You will. You will. Now, you're here with your daughter and your husband. Tell us about, I know it's been years, so many years.
Right.
Tell us a little bit about your experience moving here from Nigeria.
So I moved here in 2014 and I came just at the start of winter.
Okay, yeah.
I came at the start of winter, leaving a very hot climate to a cold climate. I wasn't prepared. I remember very well when I first stepped. You know how local flights have a different back door to board and not the tube that you use for international flights to board the plane. I was at Toronto Pearson Airport and then I came out. As soon as I stepped out, I shouted, "Oh my God!" Because the cold was like,
Embraced you, right?
right? And the lady behind me, literally, she laughed. And I ran back inside.
Well,
Right? I ran back inside. I had to take a few seconds to brace myself. I was with just a sweater and it was a knitted sweater. That was the only thing I had. I didn't know my expectation for what the cold was going to be. I thought it was something that a sweater could just sort out. And that was my first time. So I ran back in, took a few seconds to recover, and then ran straight into the plane. I didn't walk, I ran. So yeah, it was fun. It was a fun day. I would never forget that. Never. But so far, so good. It's been fun. I've had my fair shares of ups and downs here. And here we are today. I came as a student in 2014, met my husband in 2017.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah. Met him, he was also a student, got engaged in 2019, got married in 2019. So I've been married 6 years, celebrated my 6th anniversary last month, August 30th. And I have a daughter. She's going to be 4 years old in November. We both decided to stay back here in St. John because we have families here in Canada, in Toronto. We have friends in Halifax and spread across Canada. We have friends in Alberta as well. And every time we travel out for holidays or something and we go to other parts of Canada, I like my St. John. It's quiet. It's not rowdy. The noise is to the barest minimum. And I like the fact that unless we have construction going on, because we have 4 seasons in St. John or Canada, we have summer, winter, and then we have construction. Well, no, winter, fall, and you know what I'm saying.
yeah.
And unless there's construction, that's when okay, there's going to be a delay with wherever you're going to. Even at that, you're not spending up to 30 minutes. I like the fact that if I'm expected to be somewhere in 20 minutes, I am there
Yes,
in
you're
20
actually-
minutes. I remember going to Toronto, Vaughan in Ontario, and we're going somewhere. We literally had to leave like almost an hour before getting there. And typically it should be somewhere that I should get there like in say 20 to 30 minutes, but we had to leave like an hour early so that if there is traffic or anything, we would make it on time. And it was, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah. City
Yeah,
life.
wait. I was, no, I don't want to do that again. So we also, and of course, we had jobs here. So it wasn't like that was also a major factor to why we wanted to leave. We both decided to stay here. And then until I decided to birth ChopsHaven, I've been dreaming about it, but then we decided to take it seriously. And here we are today.
That's great. That's an amazing journey. And I didn't know you actually you spent some time in Ontario.
Just for visit, not
Yeah.
like yeah.
Oh, just okay.
Oh no, just for visit. We like my husband's families are in Ontario. Yeah, pretty
You were
much. I
you
think
considered
half of his family are in
okay.
Ontario. So
Okay.
yeah,
Well, that's great. Now, at least you do have some. Okay, what is it about Ontario, and they can
exactly
tell you about it.
right.
And
Yeah,
I'm glad that you stayed in St. John because otherwise we won't have this to
right, right,
we won't have this to try.
right.
As for, I know that you started introducing Chops Haven
Mhm,
to your friends and your families. You
mhm,
told me that you started that in 2017.
mhm.
What was the thing that made you think that, oh, actually, this would work? And so you actually made it to fruition to become a business.
I think it was during the pandemic. That was really when I decided. I said, okay. At first, I didn't know it was going to be something that would lead me here. I just realized that during the pandemic, a lot of people who knew I cooked were reaching out to me. Oh, I have this family coming in. And because of the lockdown back then, we barely saw or met new people. Two families arrived St. John today, and you don't know who they are. Two friends arrived, two students, three students. It was in the midst of that my clientele pretty much expanded. People will reach out to me. I remember one time somebody reached out to me and said, as an MBA student, we have a WhatsApp group where we share information and everything. Some of them are students who have gotten admission, but they are yet to arrive in St. John. The person asked me, would you mind if I shared your information on there so that when they get here, they can reach out to you? And I think that was one of the things that triggered my curiosity to exploring the option or the idea of doing this as a business. A few friends who had gone back to Nigeria before the lockdown, when they came back as well, because they had to be isolated or didn't want to go through the stress or wanted me to help them cook and stuff like that. So that's how it started. And I realized that I was making waves back then, and a lot of people were interested in my meals. I also realized that I was having more returning customers, right? And not just returning customers, they were also I was getting referral from a lot of people too. So one of the key factors for me that I get or hear from my customers are that the relief of not having to do the cooking, they enjoy that. And I'm happy. So someone was like, oh, so you'd rather enjoy doing the stress, when, and I'm like, I'm happy when my customers say I am doing something for them, contributing to making their life easy. So I'm happy when I hear that. So, and I figured people would pay for service so long as it relieves or reduces their workload or stress for them. And
Yeah,
I decided to take advantage of that.
that's great. So I'm the type of person who would be like, I am frugal, but at the same time, I want to be efficient in the things that
Right.
I do. So if
Right.
there's something that I'm not really great at, I would rather pay for someone for that service instead of me spending the time to actually do that.
True.
And sometimes one of them would be
Food.
cooking and food. Not all the time, but
Right.
yes, it's good to know that there are options there,
Mhm,
and
mhm.
businesses like you yourself help with with that
Right.
aspect.
Yeah.
Now, I know that you did have a job before you actually fully transitioned into the full
Right.
time
Yeah.
business. What was it like doing your full time job? And of course, you're a mom, and then catering to your customers because you
Right.
must be so busy on like during COVID, delivering food and stuff. How was that like?
First of all, I'd like to say I have the most amazing partner. He is very supportive, very supportive. He is committed to making sure I get every ounce of help or support I need or require to run whatever venture I decide to. So when I started in 2020, one of the things I realized I was struggling with was delivery and
Yes.
pickup. It was a pandemic and everyone had to be careful. So blessed that from the start of that pandemic up until now, I never contracted COVID. So that's amazing. One of the things I struggled with, okay, delivery, what do we do? Minimizing the number of people who showed up at my door
Yes.
and also how to get the food to them. So one of the things my husband did back then for me was delivery. He handled the delivery aspect for me. And that was before our daughter came in. She came in 2021. When I started my job and then I started a full-time job.
Yes.
So it kind of made things a lot easier for me to do whatever it is I wanted to do. And then I got my job in February of 2021. I started. And I realized that, okay, we can't do full-time cooking and full-time job together. So what I did was my customers, most of them were willing to come pick up after work. Like I would close work 5 p.m. and then I'll start cooking whatever the order was, right? They were willing to, they didn't mind. They were willing to make that compromise, which was so amazing. They would come after work. For them, it made sense because they are also done with work by then. So it wasn't an issue for them. So 9 p.m., I'll have someone come to pick up, or my husband will be the one to go deliver the food for them. And then my daughter came. When she came, you would think I'll slow down. You'd think I'll slow down, but no, I did. Because I had a 1 year mat leave. And then I remember, if I'm not mistaken, I think it was 5 months postpartum, I started cooking again. And because I had a lot of free time, all I did was just stay with the baby. So instead of just, staying idle, I'm this person. I don't know how I picture it. I dream. I don't want to do things, but I cannot stay without doing anything. So that's me. So my husband worked from home full time back then.
Okay, yeah.
Back then. So one of the things he did, and my daughter was a pretty chill baby. So she made things a lot easier for me back then too. So I was able to still do what I was doing. And then after my maternity leave ended, I had to go back to work, of course. So I went back to work. And like I said, my husband is very committed to providing every bit of support that I need. So he took up the responsibility, even without me discussing with him. I used to have to wake up, get our baby ready for daycare, because she started daycare about a year after she was born. So we were lucky to find somewhere that accepted her as soon as we needed her to get started. So I used to wake up, get her ready, and then he would take her to daycare and then come back home for work. But even without me, he noticed I was juggling a lot of things. So without even having to talk about it, we kind of switched roles without talking about it. He would be the one to wake up, get her ready, and then take her to daycare. And then he would be like, oh, okay, I'll have like a couple more hours to sleep in and then wake up, get ready for work. Because as I'm done with work, I'm getting started orders again after work. So he's always been like a step ahead to try to help me and do whatever I needed to. Even with ChopsHaven right now, I handle the kitchen aspect of things. But when it comes to the administrative part of things, he's the one in charge of it. He does everything to help me and do whatever needs to be done. If you send an email and I don't respond as soon as possible, then that's my personal email and I'm occupied. But when it comes to ChopsHaven, if you get a response back ASAP, he's on top of it. So that's how amazing he has made things so easy, very easy. And I'm very appreciative for that. So yeah, that's how I've been able to handle everything, juggle. Like this morning, or since we started ChopsHaven, we opened ChopsHaven. I get up, get ready to come here. And before then, he's already up getting our daughter ready to take her to daycare. And then after his work, he picks her up from daycare. And then sometimes he stop by here just to say hello to me. And then she goes back home. So usually sometimes when I get back home, she's already asleep, or some nights she would wait until she sees me before she goes to bed. So yeah, that's how I've been able to remain sane and handle everything.
Good.
Yeah, thank you.
It is really important to have a great support system.
Right,
You
yeah.
want when you're doing something that's on your mind, we want it to become like either it's a passion
Right,
or it's
yeah.
a business.
Yeah.
In your case, it was a business that you wanted to
Yeah.
happen.
Yeah.
And you did have a good support system. Glenn was very supportive, and he's sensitive enough to know that you need him to take
Right.
care of your child.
Absolutely.
So you can do your other task while working,
Yep.
transitioning to the business. One thing that I would really advise to newcomers as well is have that mindset that you have to work with each other, being sensitive to each
Absolutely.
other's needs. Also, the word of mouth, because you mentioned earlier, your business spread out because people are referring you,
Yeah.
your friends are referring you, they're probably helping you as well.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Now, good support system, word of mouth, that's really good. What about the financial aspects of entrepreneurship? Before even entrepreneurship, how was the finance for you? Like, what did you think was the difference from when you were back home in Nigeria to here in Canada? What was the transition like when it comes to finances?
In Nigeria, this Nigerian system when it comes to money is cash. We pay for everything. You pay for what? You're going to get a furniture, you're paying cash for it. If you're contracting a carpenter to make furniture for you, you're paying for it. Everything, it's either 70, 60, or 50% up from payment. And then the balance when the job is done or when the delivery is coming, or whichever way it is, you're paying for it 100%. But when I arrived here in Canada, you would think you've done all the research about a place, that you know all the information you need to know about that place before getting there. And then you realize there are things that you have no idea, you have no knowledge. And you know, it's not because those things are hidden from you. It's just because every information about a certain place being put online is with the assumption that it's the same everywhere else. So it's not that information was readily there to, oh, you're coming to a different country. The payment or money system here is mostly credit. So it was like a culture shock for me to arrive here and realize that a lot of things here, or the financial system here, rather, was more of creditor and debtor relation. So it was a credit system here. And of course, as an immigrant who had no idea about this, I made a few mistakes. One of them was arriving here and using my minute to call Nigeria directly.
It's always super expensive.
I had no idea, because in Nigeria, you purchase airtime, right? We don't have you having a contract with a service provider and having, getting locked in for 2 years and all of those things, and then paying monthly plan for that. No, we have a pay-as-you-go system in Nigeria, right? So it's a pay-as-you-go system. Again, everything is upfront. You don't, so you purchase your airtime, load the minutes on your phone, and you know that, okay, I have this, it's going to last me like
prepaid.
Yeah, prepaid,
Okay.
yes. So you know that, oh, okay, I have 100 minutes, I have 500 minutes, whichever the case is, you know how much you have. And as you're getting towards the end, you get a warning. You have 2 minutes left or stop, something like that. But I came here and I'm like, oh, okay, you get a contract, you pay monthly bills. In my head, that monthly bills covers the minutes. Again, one of the things they don't do, which I believe they've started doing it now, or they did start doing it after a few years, was letting you know that this doesn't cover international minutes, right? And this was back in 2015. So, and I used to speak with my parents every single day, right? And when I say every single day, I'm talking about, we'll talk like almost an hour.
Same with me and my sisters.
Right? We're talking about almost an hour. And then when my bill came, 700 and I'm like,
Canadian dollars?
yes. And I'm like, what? Why? And then I called it and they're like, oh yeah, you called Nigeria, and of course the records are there. There was no way I'm going to say, no, I did not. It was there. The
Okay.
proof was there. So that was one of the culture shock to me, and realizing, oh, it's not the same. So even if you're paying monthly bill of about $50, that was back then, not now. It's more expensive now. Even if you're paying $50 or $30, whatever it is you're paying, it's just for the minutes within Canada. Anything outside of that, you're going to pay more. So yeah, that's one of the things I had to learn the hard way and make certain adjustments too.
That's a very interesting. That's the first that I heard that.
Really?
Which
Oh, lots of people make that mistake.
which really just means that not everything is really the same with countries. Like
Right, yes.
we have different. Even I was asking about the financial system, but
Yeah.
that affected you financially because of the bill.
Right?
Even though the difference was with the way you purchase your phone line,
Yeah.
your prepaid versus
Mhm.
postpaid.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was a hard lesson to
It was very,
learn
very.
first.
It took me a while to make that adjustment. I'm like, what? And kind of switched, like a switch went off, got turned on in my head. I'm like, nope, I'm never going to make this mistake ever again.
Because you had a full-time job before, I would say you probably saved some money so that you can fully transition into a full-time business.
I did. We did. Both my husband and I, we did. We did. The amount we had saved up, we're like, oh, we're not going to spend as much as this. We actually did spend way more than that. But yeah, we did. And luckily, we still do. We still do have some left. And again, we're recovering back as time goes gradually until we're able to, get back to where we were before. But yes, we had to use a lot of our savings for this.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you said like in Nigeria, which is almost the same in the Philippines, except I had the experience of credit card, which I didn't know
Right.
what I was doing. So you were used to paying out in cash, paying something in cash.
Right.
When you transitioned here where you had to use credit because in the future that's going to help you with your goals,
Right.
I would say, what was it like for you? Like, did you have some temptations or you'd still be the same?
Oh yeah,
You'd use
which is
credit?
which was why I said I learned some things the hard way, and I had to make certain adjustments. And of course, again, it for something you don't know or you did not know or had no idea how it worked, which is why I am so excited that recently of course, they are not financial advice, but there are more like financial literacy for immigrants and newcomers to educate them about the financial system here in Canada. If I had something like that when I first came, I probably wouldn't have made those mistakes, right? One of them was getting a credit sent to collections and me realizing, oh, afterwards that, oh, there is something called collections when when you don't have stuff properly put into place or when you don't remember to do this or do that. We don't have that. And if you're owing someone money in Nigeria, they will make sure they get the money back.
Yes.
There's nothing like collections or anything like that. So those were one of them. To be financially responsible, you have to make sure you're on top of your bills.
Yes.
You have to make sure that no one is using your information or your identity, no identity theft or anything like that. You're also making sure that you're shredding every ounce of information about you before you toss it in the bin so no one has access to it. So a lot of those things back then, no one said anything. No one, gave you idea or taught you how to do these things. So the transition wasn't easy or smooth. So it took me a few years to be able to figure out what I needed to do or how to do them. And right now, I can categorically say I am responsible. I'm financially responsible now. I know what to do. I know not to go beyond my capacity and my limit. I know when I need and want something. If it's a need, I know I should get it. I know how long. Of course, I have a timeline and a goal. Do I want it? Do I need it now? Do I need it in a few days or in a few months? And if it's a want, is it something that can be put aside for as long as possible? So yeah, I can say yes that both myself and my husband, we're financially literate and I'm financially responsible and we understand the system.
So really discipline is
Exactly.
what you have. So that is very good.
Yeah.
one thing as well that is very important is we are bound to make mistakes, and that is
Absolutely.
fine
Yeah.
as long as once you learn something and you try to be open to how would you be able to improve or how would you be able to recover from that mistake,
Right.
which
You're
is
right.
good, which is what you did. So let's go back to tell us a bit more about ChopsHaven. How was your opening, actually?
Oh, my opening, it was amazing. It was beyond expectation and it was fantastic. Like, this entire place was filled up and I was overwhelmed in a good way, right? Overwhelmed in a very good way because right now we currently have a seating capacity for 30 people. So imagine having 30 people at once. But the good thing was it was all you can eat buffet. So everyone could serve
Oh,
themselves.
okay, so you
So
don't have to like assist them one by one.
exactly. The
Yeah.
only overwhelming thing about it was making sure that the food was readily available. I'm switching, meals at different times so that people can get a taste of everything they wanted or liked at that time. So that was the beauty of it because imagine having 30 people seated and we needed to serve them. That would have been crazy. I know one day we would certainly have days where it is filled up to the brim and we would figure out how to maneuver that. But yeah, it was beautiful. We had friends, we had families showed up, and I don't know. It was every meal we made that day, everything finished. Like we were completely sold out. Even after the buffet ended at 4 p.m., we had people still come up until the last minute. We closed at 8 p.m. on Saturday. So yeah, it was wonderful.
That's great. I'm
Thank
very
you.
happy for you.
Thank you.
And I'm so excited to try the food for later. And of course, I'm going to tell my friends about your business.
That would be
And now, what would be something that you would advise to someone who's new, whether they're new to Canada or whether they're considering starting a business?
right.
What would be the advice that you would give to someone like that?
Well, what I would say would be most importantly having a very solid support system. Honestly, it it sounds like, oh, when you have the mind you can do it. Yes, when you have the mind you can do it. But you do need a good support system to help you because honestly, you cannot do anything or everything. Let me say everything because there are some things you can do alone, but you can't do everything alone. When I wanted to start the business, my head was just focused on the cooking part of it, to be very honest. I did not think about the administrative part. I did not think about the hiring part. I did not think about the day-to-day activity and running of the business. All I was thinking about is starting a business, a cooking business, a restaurant. That was just all was in my head. But again, shout out to my husband. He's amazing. Like sometimes I would just wake up in the morning and he'll be like, so I was thinking you can do this. And I would just like, you know what? I never thought of that. And he would just, come up with ideas. And then there are a few friends out there that when I'm discussing or talking to them about it, they'll be like, oh, okay, how about you do this? Or they will just hit me up and be like, oh, AJ, I was thinking about this. Since you want to do this, have you thought about doing this? Have you thought about doing this? I have a friend in Ledbridge. She's a darling. When I was looking into handling the online presence. My husband is a software architect. He built the website for ChopsHaven. One of the things he did was there was a font he used for a certain background. And I shared it with my friends and she was like, oh yeah, it's perfect. Everything is beautiful. And then she said, the write-up looks good. Everything looks good. But how about you flip the color of the font to this color since the background looks this way? And I just said to my husband, oh, I didn't even see it. Again, paying attention to detail. But yeah. So, and then I showed it to my husband, like, oh yeah, she's absolutely right. She's amazing. And that's it. So every now and then just like I would tell my friends, oh, I'm thinking about doing something like this, but I don't know how to do it. And they'll be like, we'll figure something out. We'll figure something out. And either the next day or a few days later, they'll reach out to me and tell me, oh, I was just thinking about this thing you said. And you can do it this way. You can do it this way. You can get this person to do this. And or they would refer me to people to meet, to talk to. And, it was incredible. So having a good support system. Another person is my accountant. Way before I even started the business, he would travel to US for maybe holiday or for a business trip. And then he's a Nigerian. So he would, and whatever city he finds himself, he would explore the Nigerian restaurant there or African restaurants there. And for every time he goes there, he takes videos or pictures. Oh. And he would send them to me. This was years even before I started. And he would say to me, AJ, have you considered doing this? Have you considered doing something like this? And I'll tell him, not at the moment. Again, because I was comfortable with my job, I did not see the need to want to push myself, right? So he not because he wanted to be my accountant, but because he was one of the few supportive people I have and still have. He makes sure to always, ideas. And sometimes he would just call me up. Hey, Jay, I was thinking, since you are doing this, since you're doing bulk cooking, have you considered going into packaging of your own prepared meals so that people can buy readily prepared packed meal? All they need to do is just either pop it into the microwave. He comes up with ideas. He will send me samples of things he sees or things I should implement, ideas he thinks I should implement. So a very good support system is a key factor to what you need. Absolutely. And then secondly, I would also say imposter syndrome is real, right? But you have to believe in yourself that you can achieve whatever it is that you want to achieve. Because when you have a good support system and you believe in yourself, you'll be able to get through and make your dreams come to pass.
That's very, having really a good support system, good set of friends to help you. Sometimes we would be like, we're thinking, we're starting this business, right? And sometimes we would like to keep it to ourselves.
Right. Yeah.
If you do that, sometimes it would just be you're closing off ideas that other people would have given you freely.
Right.
That would really help you. So brainstorming with your friends, really having that your husband who really was supportive from the beginning to now,
right,
is really, really good to have. So even your friend in Lethbridge, who was really good in branding.
Right. That's her business. She does that too on the side. And the name of her business is Dyto, Dyto, T-O.
T-O.
It's
I will look her up on
you
LinkedIn.
should. You should. Absolutely. She is into consulting.
Okay. Well, it was very fun communicating with you today.
Thank you very much.
AJ.
Thank you so much, Marianne. I appreciate it. Thank you for the opportunity. I am rooting for everyone who is listening to this. I believe that we all have equal opportunity, even though some people have a smoother ground for them to get what they want with the right support system and mindset. We can achieve whatever it is that we want.
I definitely agree to that.
Thank you.
So if you feel empowered with AJ's sharing about herself, her journey today, her business, I want you to share this with your friends, like, subscribe, and share the channel Unpacked and Empowered Finances podcast. We'll see you in the next one.
Bye. Thank you so much, Marianne.